Welcome to the Art of Dispute. I am your host, Joe Orsak.
And I'm your co-host, Chris Minamyer.
And we agree on pretty much
absolutely nothing.
America, you're about to witness three total strangers.
A musician, an artist, and a business professional.
We brought them together to talk about a really hard subject that they had no clue what it was before they got here.
All in the hopes that we can teach you, America, that we can discuss the most controversial topics
without being jerks to each other. Imagine that. So stick around, watch the fireworks, because we're about to go live. Welcome to the Art of Dispute. The stuff that happens off camera. The only show where you can be friended and offended all in the same hour. Because that's how we roll. Make a friend, make you mad. All in the same distance. Hey, I like this guy. Hey, he's rude. America, we have a problem. What's our problem, Chris?
Oh, we like to refer to our problem as the zero to Nazi effect, which is the time it takes for you to express your opinion online and someone to go from 0 to you're a Nazi. And I'm now going to go outside and kick your dog and make sure that you know that your opinion is wrong.
You, sir, are wrong. I will show you with my lighter and lighter fluid. We've got a
great topic.
We've got a great topic. I feel for Josh here in the middle. I'm just saying that up front. We've got a great topic lined out for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the pay gap. Is it real? Is it a bunch of baloney? I don't know. Let's find out. But before we dive into the subject today, we want to make sure we give our guests a little promo here.
Shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs, that's right. Their exorbitant pay package, as we like to refer to it, all the booze they can drink, and a link to whatever they're promoting. It says, yeah, y'all are taking it home today, like just big money. All right, first up, Heather Benefield. Benefield, right?
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Yes.
There was a little bit of a slur there.
Yeah. Have another drink of beer.
My stage name is Heather Rayleen.
Let me see if I get this. Ah,
that's
yes,
why
that's
you might
next.
be.
Yeah,
it's right.
Artist name. It actually says that.
Yeah.
Heather Rayleen.
There you
Says
go.
the guy developed before.
That one flows over, right?
It does. Heather Rayleen. Yeah. I like Benefield though.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like
It's fine.
Benatar.
I'm getting rid of it
different.
soon, but it's fine.
Little old reference there. Did you get that?
Getting rid of it
No, I
soon.
Benatar, Benefield.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah, she was a hell of a singer too. So.
Yeah.
You
What
come
I
closely
cover-
connected to.
I cover her
you
stuff
know.
for sure.
Do you?
I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
She has an amazing
believe
voice.
it.
I'm just saying, y'all.
Stay
Yeah.
tuned.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. We already got a little experience here while she was warming up earlier. She's going to play for you guys at the end of the show. You definitely want to stick around for that. I'm just saying. HeatherRayleen.com. One thing funny about Heather that nobody knows. Well, at least some people know because they were there. She once fainted on stage during an audition.
Tell them what for.
Yes, for Nashville Star.
Which is where Miranda Lambert got her start.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get the gig?
I got to take like a break, have some orange juice crackers and stuff, get back on, redo the entire thing.
Oh,
At which point I was
nice.
like, what's the worst that can happen? So I like killed it.
Yeah.
And
Can't be worse than
I
fainting.
did get to go to
Can't be any worse than fainting, so
yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
got
do
to go to
good.
the next round. So I got through a couple of them and then I got cut.
Oh, very good, very good. That's cool. All right.
I mean, it made a great story, so I'm happy.
Exactly. Up next, Joshua Belland, also known as Joshua Belland SEO. The business name, Joshua Belland SEO. You guys look him up. JoshuaBelland.com, BELLAND.com.
Yep.
All right, said that while I still could.
Links are on the screen.
Yep.
Oh.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, there's somewhere.
You know better than the point.
Yeah. Somewhere.
Or you can just Google SEO Houston. I'm at the top.
Oh!
I like it.
Ooh.
Number one.
Hey, that was like dropping the mic type of thing right there. Yeah. All the other, all the SEO guys, he's just went smack.
Oh, they all knew who. No.
Google SEO, I'm at the top. That's why you should hire me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny thing about Josh, at least every day, he eats 2 Reese's Big Cups per day.
Because the small ones aren't.
That's right.
That's true.
Peanut butter chocolates.
There you go.
Nice.
You got your peanut butter and my chocolate, man.
Done.
Veronica Longoria.
Hey.
I've been saying it in my head for a while now. Like you said it earlier, and I was like, oh. She said that she was serious. Can't get that wrong.
Better come correct.
That's right. All right. V-Rock Studio.
That's me.
That's pretty cool. It's a very aggressive name.
I'm kind of aggressive.
V-Rock
Yeah.
Studios.
I'll beat you up. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. You don't like it, really. We're gonna step outside and discuss this. VRockStudios.com.
Yes, sir.
All right. Very good. Very good. One funny thing about you that most people don't know: you love the smell of tea bags.
I do. Not.
Sorry.
Not the nasty kind of tea.
Production is leaving
What
the
is
room.
this? What is this nasty kind you're talking about? I don't even know.
Yeah.
No, I mean legit tea bags.
Legit tea
bags.
I could not
One
keep
that
it
you
together.
dunk your
Right.
tea in.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
Oh.
Yeah, like you smell tea.
It doesn't
Dried tea
matter
bag.
what kind of tea, but that like a dry tea bag.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll like.
Like black tea or green tea or.
I feel that way about coffee.
I feel like peppermint tea, you know.
Peppermint tea is nice.
It's like a stress reliever,
Yeah.
so you know
See
you
that.
might catch me sniffing some tea bags.
If you get stressed out, that's okay. Did you bring one for everyone?
I didn't see you guys like that, didn't know.
That was good. That was good.
Sounds like I could use a tea bag.
There's
I got
too
some
many
guys
jokes and this goes to TV.
The innuendo is strong with this one.
I've been told that. I'm sorry.
It's gonna be a good
Wow.
Well, this isn't
Cheers to
making
tea
it on
bags.
air.
Yeah.
Warm in
Alright.
So,
Resolved.
pay gap. I just wanna get like a 1 minute. Give me what's your take on this? Kind of a thought.
Yeah, let everybody know where everybody
Yeah,
stands.
yeah. What's your idea? Is there a pay gap? Is it real?
Should we make him go first? Or?
No. Absolutely not.
She's trying to get you, bro.
I know.
Yes, it's real.
I am feeling bad for him though.
Yes.
Us girls
Back
already
up,
know that
man.
we agree that it's real. Being a female artist, I run into it constantly. There are bars that literally, when they find out, they're looking at the name and they're like, is that a female or a male? And if it's a female, they will literally say nope and pass right along. Come on, Josh.
In general, the way that the economy works and how businesses work and whatnot, it's not as much of a factor. Not today. And I think that a lot of the data out there is misconstrued. They're not thinking about the actual job title or what they're doing or the job role that they're doing. When you look at some of these,
Keep in mind this is your 1 minute bullet point.
yeah. Okay, fine. When you look at the roles, here it is. A majority, when you look at the highest paying jobs like aerospace engineering, petroleum engineering, those are mostly dominated by men. When you look at the job roles that are mostly dominated by women, they're like early childhood development, and lower paying jobs. So it's not necessarily they're being it's basically just because they choose to go into those job roles.
Just saying that we're going into the wrong jobs. That's why we're getting paid less.
No, they're choosing to go with the
Okay, hang on, guys.
Let's
Choosing to
We
go with
literally
the line.
have.
Let's hear her stance.
Gotta
real quick,
get your before we dive into the discussing. We just want to get the bullet points.
Right.
So let's give her the floor here and then let her throw out your 1 minute bullet point.
Sure. I would say yes, absolutely, it exists. I've known hiring managers personally who are men who say they will hire a woman just so they can pay her less. So yes, it's real.
Okay. Well, there you have it.
Right, to the point
Yeah.
there. Okay.
All right. So we're done.
See y'all next week.
All right. So I wanted to make sure we get the we got the differing opinions out there. We got some questions for you guys, and you like started touching on all sorts of points here, and there's some differing points of view already being represented here. So I want to turn it back. You kind of already challenged him with a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to restate your question, and now let's let him respond.
Okay, so you're saying that women are getting paid less because we're choosing to go into lower paid industries.
Ooh, dang! They're bringing the heat. It's getting so hot. I wonder what they're gonna say.
How much does it cost you to watch TV? The average household pays between $100 and $150 every month. Finally fed up with the rising cost of cable and satellite? Cut the cord and start watching the channels you want at a fraction of the cost. With IXQ TV, you'll have access to thousands of live TV channels, including sports, movies, news, premium networks, kids channels, and even local channels for as low as $39 a month. Stream in HD on your TV, tablet, phone, or even computer with multiple devices streaming at the same time. IXQ TV requires no contracts or credit checks, no installation or cancellation fees, no bogus surcharges or hidden fees. $39 a month means $39 a month. Say goodbye to high cable bills forever. Visit mycablebillstinks.com today.
Okay, so you're saying that women are getting paid less because we're choosing to go into lower paid industries, correct?
No.
You
not saying that.
mentioned teachers.
So clarify
early
your
childhood.
position.
If we were going into like petroleum engineering,
I'm saying the
or something
national
like that.
average showing that the average woman gets paid 77 cents on the dollar
Right.
is a misconstrued piece of data, because the average woman goes into lower paying jobs by choice.
So you're all
And
encompassing.
I'm saying that the average woman
He's
goes
going
into a
strictly on
lower
data. He's not going on.
They go into a lower paying job role in general or industry by choice, because some industries are dominated more by men,
Right.
while others are more dominated by women, and for some reason
Childcare, healthcare.
I can say I didn't go into a lower paying industry. I am in an industry that's male dominated, and I can almost guarantee you that I'm not getting paid the same thing as my male counterpart. And it's not because I chose to go into a cosmetology or something else. I'm in a technical industry. I'm in oil and gas, but I'm still getting paid much less than my male counterpart. So why is that?
Well, I don't know, because I haven't seen that data. But but what I can say is that my wife's mom was a chemical engineer for NASA. I don't see it there, right? And it's very rare for a woman to go into an engineering field. Now if you look at a field of like pharmaceuticals, you see it's 48% of people that go into pharmaceuticals are men, while 52% are women, and that's one of the highest paying jobs out there. But there's differentiating factors. I can't really respond to something that I haven't looked into or researched, but I can see where you're coming from a personal standpoint or a personal view. Yeah.
Let me ask a question to you, ladies. I feel like I'm going to have to direct it more to you, just from the business stand. You own your own business.
Yes.
You actually own your own business.
Sure, different kind of.
My question is this: as a business owner, I've been an entrepreneur most of my life. Payroll is typically your highest expense in any given business. If there was you're saying 77%. If there was let's just call it a quarter. if I could cut my overhead by 25% simply by hiring women because they get paid less,
Right.
why would I ever hire a man?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Pay a little slack.
Because I don't, as long as the jobs get done, I don't care. And if I can,
Right.
and if the average is 25% less, hell, I'd cut 25% off my overhead right off the top, and I'll never hire a guy.
Then I suppose it's just whoever you feel is right for the job, right? So, I believe men and women, we come with our own strengths, right?
Sure.
That's where I've been leading towards this whole conversation. Is the
Yeah.
strength thing. Everyone's got that.
I was
We
curious
have
if you're
our
going to go
own
there. I've got a
strengths.
kind of follow-up question
You
for you
know,
on
and
that.
I don't believe we're created equally when it comes to certain things. There's
Sure.
some things that men bring to the table, and there's other things that women bring to the table.
I'm with the French on this.
Yeah.
Viva la différence.
Yes. At the same time, though, I do believe that a lot of the fault lies with women when it comes to that pay gap because we don't negotiate enough. A lot of times we feel like we're given an offer and we're like, oh, I have to accept that offer.
Well, we're just so happy to get it.
And
It's
we're
like,
so happy
oh,
to get
finally
it.
we can, yeah.
If we had the same mentality that men had and researched what that position was supposed to pay and researched and knew our worth and knew that we could ask for more, do it. Now that I know that, I do it, and I'm comfortable in saying I probably make more money than a lot of the male counterparts I have. Like you said, like hustling and all that good stuff, but it's because I know what I'm worth.
This is an interesting angle here, almost to assert that the pay gap doesn't exist at the fault of the business, but only to say that the business's goal is to be as profitable as possible.
The business is going to pay you what you feel you're worth.
Right.
Right.
Male or female, if you come to me and you're willing to do the job for X.
And if you go at somebody who's nurturing versus someone who's strong male, testosterone driven, right?
Thank you.
Then someone you offer.
your face,
Well, I mean, you offer something, and the strong male is biologically, is that the right word? The word is disposed or
Biologically predisposed?
predisposed. Thank you
I
very
don't
much.
even know about that because
to challenge what they're offering.
Right.
yeah, I don't even know about that because I see like I've been like just following different companies on LinkedIn, and I've been seeing Fortune 500 companies nominating or electing women CEOs left and right lately. You know, week after week, I see a new woman CEO of
That's a
a
nurturing
Fortune
position.
500 company. No, that's a sales position. Your CEO is going to be the best salesman in the entire company. That's,
But it doesn't mean
that's-
that they're being paid the same as their male CEO
Well, it's
counterparts.
public data.
And I almost guarantee they're not.
But it's
Well,
public
and I do
data.
think that, I mean, there's been like a
Give us a comment,
movement
guys.
of women
Go Google
kind of
that.
taking over. Like, it's a movement that I do think that
Yeah.
more women are getting these better jobs and maybe paying better paid jobs and everything, but it's still not completely even.
And
We're
it's not.
there
And
yet.
a lot of times these boards are being pressured to put these females in these positions because they know it's male dominated. And so they have to kind of get that
Oh, sure.
representation in there. But like I said, I guarantee she's not making as much
I
as
don't-
her male
I
counterpart.
don't believe that because let's look at the facts. If you're a publicly traded company, you're a Fortune 500, and you have to report your salaries and information to the public anyway. Why would they ever take the risk in reporting lower salaries for a woman than they would for a male? I don't think that they would
Risk
do that.
isn't worth the reward.
No. So and then on the other end, I mean, let's look at it this way. I mean, I think that from an emotional intelligence standpoint, women have the upper hand in many cases, because part of that role is being able to just control those emotions and be able to focus and just do things. I mean, a lot of us guys out there, we're all over the place. We're basket cases, you know. So I mean, women are very strong, you know, in many in intellectual and emotional ways, while men may have physical strength. I mean, it's like just because we have pride and ego doesn't mean that we have the emotional and and intellect that a woman might bring to the table. So it's equal. I mean,
It's not equal. When there's 10 board members who are all male and there's only one female on there, That's not equal.
But doesn't that come down to the choice and the role that they choose to
No,
pursue?
In the
there's
workforce,
plenty of
what
women
do women
choosing.
represent in the workforce?
I mean, if you look at the data, you'll see that 80% of 80 to 90% of males they take on roles for petroleum engineering and engineering roles, aerospace engineering, all these other roles, which then turn into bigger jobs. I mean, they're just choosing to go into roles that are going to get them in places like that, like different boards and whatnot.
So I think.
Okay, so hang on. We've got a lot of questions on the table, but we already have to take a break.
Break time.
That's how fast this flew by, guys. A lot of great back and forth, and we're going to keep them apart during the break here, you know, so it doesn't get
Ding, 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 ding.
But good stuff,
Yeah,
great
good
stuff. You know, we'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. Welcome back to the Art of Dispute. We are having a lot of fun. You know, the difficulty of recording a show that's not live and you have breaks is invariably when there's alcohol involved, the show keeps going, despite the fact that you've stopped.
Yeah.
We had like at least another whole segment of the show during the break. I feel like we're almost done. I'm like, yeah, we just have some more beers. We'll just chill for a few minutes.
Reach out,
over.
let's get y'all booked.
Yeah, it's a good time to mention that we have an alcohol sponsor.
Yeah, we do.
That provides all the wonderful booze that we drink all throughout the show.
Grain
And
cellar.
off the show, yeah, absolutely.
Cheers. Speaking of which,
shout out.
pass that way for me. Yeah,
It's like a magic trick.
Yes.
It's like it goes off camera,
comes back
empty,
full.
and it comes back full.
Well, now I know about that trick. Right.
Yeah, you can drink more. She was concerned that it ran out.
That's why I'm happy to have a restaurant next door.
True story.
Send them
Yeah.
over there.
Yeah, I need to get them as a sponsor because they got freaking awesome food.
Ooh, that Cajun
So,
food.
but I'm not going to give them a shout out until they give us either free food or money. We eat there all the time though.
Yeah.
It's crazy good. Cajun, the gumbo. Oh my
Hit
god.
me up in a personal message.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the gumbo is insane. Yeah, it's awesome. So we got this
Don't
great
forget
topic.
This time. Last time you forgot.
Hold on.
Pass it around.
Community cup.
I don't know we're gonna get that friendly.
That was the last show. Oh my God. Sorry. It's a whole series of conversations that just happened in my head right
no,
now.
nobody else was there for that.
No, nobody. They don't even know. No. Yeah. Last show was polyamory versus polygamy versus monogamy. So yeah.
Fun stuff.
I
Yeah.
know. That would have been a good
Yeah,
one.
the pass it around and community thing, and didn't know we were going to get to know each other like that.
No.
All those comments, yeah, just
Rude. I didn't even see it. That was rude.
oh my gosh, yeah, wow,
We're feeling the alcohol, guys. We're
Yeah.
feeling the alcohol.
yeah.
So
Show number
what's
2.
going on?
Yeah. So we're talking about
Pay gap.
the pay gap, and does the pay gap exist? There's a real thing, and boy, we've had some lively conversation going on so far, and a lot of good questions that happen, and all this sort of thing. I want to toss out again for you ladies, and of course the guy, but chime in where you think. I want to ask this: of the man and the woman, if they're married individuals, who is the more likely to leave work to take care of, pick up, stop, deliver a child?
Duh.
Of course, the
The woman.
Okay. do you think that impacts how an employer views the value of the
Can
role?
it be me?
Absolutely.
Am I allowed to do
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
it does. It does.
Yeah.
that? Because
I
I want to do
agree.
that. Like, I want to do
I
that.
mean,
Like,
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna
Maternity
agree with
leave.
you.
for males now, which is really cool.
I think it's one of those things that cuts both ways. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's
But it's
we
not
are
everywhere.
we are expected to stay. Like, we don't get the option.
Yeah.
Like, it's majorly frowned upon. Well, it's like, where's your wife? Why isn't she picking them up? It's like, because we're an equal household and we split this
Right.
job. You know,
because this is 2019.
because we're not sexist, and I don't assume that my wife is going to be.
like, can I curse? Are you gonna believe
Yeah, we will believe.
It will be believed. Yes.
It's bull.
It's bull.
I wonder what she's saying.
It's true, and I understand, but it is absolute bull.
I don't disagree.
is.
I don't disagree. That's one of those, like I said, it's one of those things that cuts both ways.
Yeah.
You know, it's like men receive the benefit of that in that an employer says the male's more valuable because he's not going to be leaving to pick his kid up when he's got a skin knee at school or whatever else. He's not going to have to do all those side jobs that the mom has to do. So,
But at the end of the day,
I mean, I don't have to do all that stuff.
as a mom,
we got too much to do
working
already.
in corporate America, I used to have to do all those things. But at the end of the day, guess what I was doing at night? Still doing my job.
Catching up, yeah.
So it just
Been there.
because I had to go do those things doesn't mean the job wasn't being performed.
sure, fair enough.
So, you know, the fact
Working
that that's an
overtime.
aspect, or that's an issue that we're expected, right, as women, we're going to be the ones taking to the doctor appointments, we're the ones going to the parent-teacher meetings. It is what it is. But at the end of the day,
I need to
even
find
if
someone who's willing to trade me this way.
even
wanna
if
do
I
that.
had to
I wanna
leave
do.
3 hours early, I made sure after that parent-teacher conference, I was back online, back on my emails, back doing what I needed to do to take care of business. And women, if they're strong enough, they'll do that.
Now, is that just an internal household decision, or is that really a business decision? Because at the end of the day,
Bam.
I personally, when my son needs me, I'm there. Doesn't matter what my boss says, or what my client says, or what whoever says, I will stop at the drop of a hat to go.
I do believe it is a personal,
And
it's a family
it is
decision.
because
Sure.
because
And the only thing
guys
is
go
the
into
maternity
that.
leave
No.
when the woman is
That's
actually
because-
pregnant.
One at a time. One at a time. Hang on. One at a
Before
time.
you guys go deep into that, is that because if somebody else, if you didn't have as much money as you did, because you can take off of work, because if you took off of work for the skin knee, instead of saying, hey son, got one,
this guy.
got one. So,
We
but
all
if-
said
if
make
you-
sure.
There it is.
If
Oh,
there
that
was
wasn't-
someone
that
on
wasn't
this
that.
show,
This quiet F-bomb brought to you by Josh Belland.
that was this tile gets me every time. All right.
So, I guess what I'm getting at is that because you have enough money to be able to take off? Because if you took off and that made it so you couldn't provide for your little one, does that make sense? So, without the money, you couldn't pay for the house.
yeah, not everybody has the
Well,
luxury.
I'm
of
not-
being able to take
Not
I'm
everybody
care
has
of
that
it.
luxury. is
Yeah.
what he's
Right.
saying.
But what I'm saying is this: look, if you have, let's say you have a, I think that in a lot of cases, the male has, or the female, or whatever, because I've seen households where there are stay-home dads. And I've seen where the woman makes all the money.
Yeah.
But you know,
I wanna see
and
those
also,
numbers.
and it does happen
How much are they
rarely.
getting paid?
But at the same,
The men in that role.
no, but
Nothing.
But at the same time, you gotta think about it like this, like you know, it's like just like a woman can choose to go into a certain career path, a man can choose to go into a certain career path. Sometimes you have couples that just choose not to go in career paths at all that generate more money. Or they don't choose to go out and get the right education, or they don't choose to go out and they don't have enough drive or ambition to go out and do what they do. Because I see in every instance male women, male females, they go out there and some are hungry, some aren't.
Many
And I think it
people-
really
many
comes
people are
down.
looking for a job of
I think-
security
I think-
versus
Yeah.
Right.
the rich.
I think it comes down to what's inside. I mean, some people are hungry, some people aren't. some people are looking for security. Some people are, you know,
You want
customers.
that low income look. You're never gonna fire me.
You know, the irony for me here is that you are probably the worst argument for your argument that around, because you expressed it.
What's that?
That in essence, that you are strong enough to argue your value, that you probably make more than your male counterparts in your position, right? And so, kind of my take on hearing the data, and then, like, you know, I've had this conversation a few times outside of the show and on the show.
In our group,
and like what
group
you're getting at is that the opportunity is there for anybody to be had, and the opportunity is equal for all. And for whatever reason, the dynamics of personality, the difference between men and women, and perceived roles, and all sorts of things that get thrown into the pot and mixed up, ends up producing this pay gap.
There's a lot of variables.
And so,
Okay,
Sure.
okay, so
has anybody looked at the data?
Let's look at
All right.
no, but we were
let-
talking about
let-
people in
sorry.
so when I said I make more than a lot of the people I know, they're not necessarily in a comparable position, because I've been in a management position
Yeah, that's what he was
where I looked at my direct reports, who all happen to be men. I looked at their salaries, and guess what? Some of them made more than me as their boss. Or me as their boss, they made more
What
than
kind
I
of job
did.
role though? Because in a lot of cases, salespeople or sales engineers or
Right.
people that are in
The
roles where
income.
they make commissions or they
Right.
make their performance based.
There was no
Money generators.
commission. It was their salary. They made more, and
Oh wow.
you know, so as a manager, I've seen that data. I've
so
seen it.
let me ask you then, I would go back to asking in that scenario, if it was purely just men are making more, women are making less, why would I ever, as the business owner, hire a man?
Whoa, dude, what a great question.
Yes, I thought so myself.
I cannot wait to hear what they're gonna say next.
Me? If it was purely just men are making more, women are making less, why would I ever, as the business owner, hire a man?
Because
I want to pay that guy. I want him to keep 25%.
You get 5 men to 1 job.
at
and
the end of
one
the
woman
day,
to 1
every business basically has to have you have to have a equality there. Businesses are pressured to have a certain amount of affirmative action, right?
Unfortunately.
It's the truth. Businesses are pressured
Disclaimer.
to have, you know, a certain amount of men there, a certain amount of women there, a certain amount of Hispanics there, a certain amount of diversity.
If it's a public company, if it's a private company,
if
though,
you
the men
yeah.
go.
Well, it
and
might also come
off
back
we
to
go.
what we were talking
Honestly,
about women being
yeah.
maternity leave, women leaving to take care of their children. You know,
right.
it kind of.
So is it justifiable then? That's what I'm asking. I'm trying to play. I'm
So it's like he was saying, well, if his kid needs him, he's going to go. So I think it comes down to, yes, there's the maternity leave, the 9 months and maybe 3 months after or whatever, where the woman is actually carrying the child. She's the only one that is capable of doing that. Obviously, the men can't.
Right.
So there's
She's gotta
that
be the one
time
to go to
link.
the doctor's
But
appointments.
outside of that,
I went to every
a lot of households keep it as a pretty
Hey, bro, I
role
got
of-
you.
to get, you know, there's plenty of households where both people are working and they're both taking turns to go. You know what I mean?
so.
You're acting like you don't know what I mean.
But to that point, right? So I think it's an incredibly valid question to ask.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I agree.
I just want to make money. That's why I'm in business.
Right.
And if I
Business
can,
owner.
and if I can cut my
Personally,
overhead,
as a business owner and as someone that's been an entrepreneur his entire life, if someone's generating more revenue for me, I'm gonna pay them more. Period.
And continuously keep paying them.
Like,
So-
if you
so-
generate revenue for me, I'm
Well, that
So
person
hang on,
could
let me-
very well be a woman that
Hang on,
happens
so
to need a little bit of
let,
time
let me
off.
let me
It's
let me
very
finish this
possible.
thought process here real
Yeah,
quick.
go ahead.
If I'm the business owner and I'm going, hey, I just want to keep as much profit as possible, I would hire women, but they're male dominated. Then you're saying they're getting paid more. Then my question was, then if I could cut pay, I would. So the male is there for a reason. And your answer then was because that the woman is more likely to, like with maternity leave and all that sort of thing, they're going to be absent more.
And that's not
all that
every
sort of thing.
woman.
No, not right. It's not every woman. It's not every woman, and
But they're the only
probably
ones that
I
can.
think
and
it-
probably some women fall into, or I would say a good chunk of women fall into being grouped into an overall generalization or stereotype, because it exists for a reason, right? And that it's like, well, I don't know if you're going to get pregnant and leave for 3 months or whatever
Right.
else, but you're a woman and you're in that category that can happen because you're a woman. And so I'm paying not because I'm going, I want to pay you less because you're a woman or because I have some bias against you, but just because I have a history of data that I'm drawing from. And that's why this pay gap exists.
So, okay, so I think that boils down to back the women asking or knowing what they're worth. So as a business owner, I outsource. I have females designers that I outsource to, and I have male designers that I outsource to.
Female
And-
designers are so much better.
And guess,
Yeah.
but no, guess whose rate is much lower? It's the female,
Right.
and it's because
But you're the business owner?
I'm the business owner. I'm outsourcing, and I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I'm outsourcing.
See,
They're too.
Choosing
They're
women 'cause they're
very.
cheaper?
They're very. I'm going on price.
Is it? Do you feel
Now,
like
if
it's
you're-
based on the
if you're-
game? Or of the
Well, hang on,
person?
let her
It's
finish.
based on what you know
Then jump
your
in.
value
Yeah,
is.
right.
So if you're charging me $50 less an hour than this guy, well, I'm going to go with you, right? And I'm going to pay you what you're telling me you're worth. So that's kind of on you. If you're telling me your worth is $50 an hour, and he's telling me his worth is $100 an hour,
Now,
Right.
I think that goes
So-
back to.
I'm not going to go and tell you, hey, guess what? He's telling me 100. You should really go up there. I'm a business owner.
Right.
And why do you think
I'm a
that-
business owner. I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to go with you.
If you have a product or you have a service and it charges less, you'll see more volume. If you can figure out a way to make that product actually produce and supply that demand, then you can make more money than someone that's charging more, right? But so it's very. It's
are you talking about art? Sorry.
yeah, and it's like if you can find a demand for it, right? There has got to be the demand. So like if you have, product X, product Y, product Z, and product Y doesn't sell as much, but it's a higher ticket item, not as high in demand, but when you do sell it, there's a lot of profit. But then you've got that product X, and that thing just sells, and it's all based on price positioning and price point. Then you've got all the volume there, but your margins are maybe 3%. You're
It's like
keeping
that
that revenue
hamburger's
going.
$10 because
Right.
the French fries are $10.
So who knows? I mean, if I'm a woman and I'm asking for $50 an hour, and I'm a man asking for $100 an hour, maybe that woman's getting hired twice as much as that man is.
Oh. And let me ask you this, because it sounded like from your argument that the pay gap, if it does exist, which is your position that it exists, the pay gap exists because women accept the pay gap.
I would say there's some truth to that. Yes. I would say women are not negotiating enough for their salaries. They're probably not researching enough what they're worth.
Because they're too busy. Sorry.
Well, can
That
we
was-
take it
that
back
was
to
a
what we
term.
were saying earlier also, where we grew up in a household,
Yes.
for instance. It's in our history to be submissive to
I didn't have to bring it up.
There's
I didn't even have to bring it up.
Right. There's some conditioning
Well,
there.
ever
As it should be.
evolving, and we're getting better, and there are more women CEOs, etc. But
Right.
we're still evolving, and we're still not all the way there.
Yes,
That's
and-
what I think.
and-
So I think it's better, but it still exists, at least in some,
I can see that, but and that was another point I wanted to touch on too, because it's like in my house, my wife is there, and she works for a very large government like contract agency, and she has way higher, she has top security clearance, all this other stuff. She gets to work from home, and you know, all this good stuff, and she gets paid less than I do because I go out and I kind of make my own salary, but she is okay with that.
But that's the risk.
And I'm thinking
the risk reward.
Yeah, you know, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man. I said, well, if you want to go out and you want to make, you know, 6 figures and support the household, like, totally go do it. I'll stay at home, and you can go do that. You know, like, because she is okay with that. She doesn't have the ambition to go out and do that.
Because she'd rather do.
But she's also
I
a female.
I don't know if that's.
I
don't know if that's a gender thing specifically because at the end of the day.
Is it the guy bowing down to the girl's?
But no. But I mean, my
feeling.
feeling.
The kids?
But I can say that one of the feelings I have, just the way I was raised and the way I grew up, just like a woman might feel based on the way she was raised and the way she grew up. I do feel like it's my duty as a man to step up and make sure that the house.
And that's okay. Part of why she's okay with you making more money.
That's okay that you feel that way.
You know,
That's great.
it's crazy how fast time flies.
I knew it was coming
by,
quick.
Man. It really is amazing. We're literally down to the last minute.
Oh my God.
A whole other show that I would love to have, especially with you guys. You gals, right? They use you guys in a generic sense, is the conversation to say how our society looks down on the role of mom,
Caregiver,
of stay-at-home mom,
and stay-at-home dad,
and stay-at-home dad,
and stay-at-home
anybody
dad.
who wants to stay
Anybody
home
who wants to
and
stay
be with
at
the
home.
children.
right,
Yep.
right.
Even the ones that go to work to be with the children.
Yeah.
As though making the decision to be a full-time stay-at-home mom is somehow lesser than.
Right.
So, I wanted to bring up, if you look
My
at
wife,
married
that was our
couples as
dynamic.
one person, right? Instead of they're not working, they make no income, and the male makes, they're married, so they're one person.
Mm-hmm.
Does the numbers stack up the same for the female versus the male? Because when they're in the same, they've made the agreement, like
Right.
they're the same person now,
That's
so
a
they're
great-
splitting.
That's actually a great point. I was able to make a lot more by the wife staying home.
Right.
Right. And the cost of childcare and all that sort of thing is so flipping through the roof.
Yeah.
That you have to have a substantial job to make
Was
it
that
worthwhile.
her
Call my
asking
neighbor.
you to
She's
stay
been
home
here
with
at
the children, or was that you saying you need to stay home with the children?
No, that was
That was a
Yeah.
it was a mutual thing, right?
Mutual,
And
yeah,
so-
absolutely.
and
She
I think
wanted
the
to.
female would
She
most
wanted to be able to be home.
likely
and,
want to stay home with the children more.
Yeah, she wanted to be able to be
carry,
home with
right?
the
It
kids.
depends
It's
on
also
who's making more
society,
money.
too.
And
Who's
Yeah.
making more money?
phenomenal,
point.
You know?
phenomenal
Unless they're both
mom
being great.
on
Right.
top of that.
Yeah.
But we got to wrap it up.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, fine.
We're
Next
done.
week, guys. come
So
on.
we got to go to an amazing performance here by
She
Miss
does
Heather.
kill it.
She's gonna rock it out. I'm just telling you guys, I'm already a fan of, like, for real,
Follow her.
amazing voice. I'm super psyched to have the performance up on our page. And so, on that note, Heather, what are you gonna play for us, and where can they find it? Let's take it away.
Well, I'm no stranger to danger. I like to play with fire, roll the dice. But you, honey, you're a game changer. You're changing all the rules, keep me guessing. And I'm loving it, can't deny. Yeah, I'm giving it, I won't lie. Oh, 'cause ooh, I think I'm falling for you. And ooh, there's nothing I wanna do.
YouTube. Where can they find it?
iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, wherever you get your music.
All of them.
All of those places.
HeatherRayleen.com.
HeatherRayleen.com. Killed it.
Be in the
Freaking
comments.
great performance. Of course, this performance is going to be up on our YouTube channel. Make sure you hop over there. Nikki Danger and crew from Mad Ox Studios, rocking it out with all of their recordings for this stuff. And I got to get this down. Andres Del Rio on video.
That's right.
The music videos, we got to give a shout out to him for producing the video. So you guys come back next week for another crazy awesome show and another great musical performance. We'll be right back.
Sweet.